What's up, guys? So the first person to get to 230,000 husbandry on the North American server still is uncontested. It's been almost 3 weeks now that they've had the entire market completely to themselves. So you can see it's been well over the 2 weeks, as there's more sales in the past history here. And we had someone that was like, hey, how much money do you think they've made? Well, we did some quick calculations here. So just based on what has been shown here in the auction house this last 2 weeks, the sale prices, you can see them here in the graph, doing some number crunches. So pretty much adding all these up, multiplying by how much they sold for, and then subtracting some costs that was associated for creating those guys, we come up with these numbers. Let me see here. So for coops, so this is the small bamboo coop. I estimate that he's made 19,000 gold off of his coop sales. Probably a little bit more because, again, we can't see the full history there. Let's take a look at the cages as well. And I'll give you a grand total of what I think this guy has made in these last 3 weeks here. So you got the duck cage here. We went around and estimate here around 7,500 profit in duck sales. There's also the goose cage, which I don't know if there's a goose on here currently on the auction house. It doesn't look like there's a goose, so you can't see the sales history of the goose. But in gooses, it looked like he's made around 26,000 gold for gooses. So gooses have been really well to him. Then you also got the pens. So you got the goat pen. Goat pens. He's made approximately around 8,000 gold for goat pens. There's sheep pens. And I don't think there was actually a sheep pen on the auction house last night for me to look at. So this is a brand new, new data here. And I would just have to kind of eyeball it and look at it. I'd say probably close to 20,000 for this. I mean, you can see a lot of sales. 100 here. About 100 a day. So probably around 20,000 on sheep pens. And then you have dairy pens, which is actually like one of the largest. My calculations here, it came up to around 41,000 gold from dairy pens, being his highest profit margin on items sold. Mainly because the dairy pens, he sold for 100 gold each in the beginning, and they were actually selling pretty well. And still selling at 70 gold each for a couple days, and then now hovering around the 50 gold mark. So he has decreased his price over time because, that's how you attract more sales. No one else is still doing this because we haven't had any real competition or wars yet. 230,000 is really hard to get. When someone else gets there, the prices are going to change. Probably pretty significant. You got these two people that are going to be battling it out for control of the market. But he's still, overall, he's made over 100 and I'd say 20,000 gold adding into the sheep pens there. Then there's also a little bit other ones, like there's the Blizzard pen and then the Yada pen. So he sold a couple of those, but they don't really show up on the auction house because he's not listing them anymore, I don't think. They're not really high sellers. So none of those guys are listed there. But yeah, over 120,000 gold on the fresh start servers. That is a massive amount of gold for about 3 weeks of sales. It took about 3 weeks for him to get there. So in this total, we've been playing roughly around 6 weeks here on the fresh start servers. And yeah, 120,000 of pure profit. Probably a little bit more as well, as there were sales that I could not calculate. But yeah, that's a lot of money, guys. That's why it pays to be first at anything, especially something that requires a lot of work and dedication to. 230,000 proficiency is very hard to get. It takes a lot of time and effort. He had to use a lot of large labor potions to actually get that proficiency first. And, he had to spend money to make money. The old adage that you probably have heard a million times, it pays off for sure. So again, 100,000+ gold this guy has made. Congrats again. And yeah, I'm interested to see when someone else actually gets up to the 230,000 proficiency, what's going to happen. How close are you guys? Are you guys doing husbandry as well? How close are you guys to getting that 230,000? Post your proficiency level down below. I know I'm nowhere near it. I'm not doing husbandry really, so he's got a free pass from me there. But yeah, post your proficiency down low. Love to see how close anyone else is to 230,000 proficiency.